August Hamilton's Comedy Store tonight, and it's a pleasure to bring to the stage our guy. I've heard wonderful things about him, and I'll tell you about him real fast. He's been performing on the College Humor Live and was featured on Coming to the Stage Season 6 and was nominated for a Shorty Award as funniest YouTube comedian. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Falzone.
Yeah.
Let him know. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. You come to the Comedy Store often?
Yeah, all the time.
You've had some strange experiences on Sunset, right?
I have.
What?
Some of them happened outside. I have been spit on twice in 2019 so far. And that's my credit. That's my standard.
Don't you know better than to wear a MAGA hat on Sunset Boulevard?
You would think I would know better. No, one of them happened right outside the Comedy Store. You know how they have the big long line of people?
Yeah.
It stretches several blocks. Very popular time for this place right
Yeah.
now. So the hazard is, I think I was hosting a show in the belly room, and I was walking up, and I was kind of parallel with this line, but everyone's backs.
Yeah, I made that walk before.
Yeah.
You kind of walk along the edge of the curb, or sometimes you walk out on the Sunset to get around.
Yeah, and there's that one puddle where the sprinkler system doesn't work.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, they're very specific. But the problem is everyone's back is to you, and they're joking around with their friends, and they're just, they're waiting. And so this dude, I could see him kind of hocking up this loogie, and I'm like, there's no way. He has way more self-awareness. You know, most common people would look around, and he didn't. So he just turned towards the street at the exact moment where I was passing him. And I had a straight, like I had a patch roll down. And meanwhile, this is my third or fourth favorite hoodie. And I gotta host this show. And my wife was with me, and my wife was like, I was like, what do I do? Because I was gonna hurt this person.
Yeah.
Because I don't know I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, now we fight. Now I don't even want to, but that's what happens.
You don't have the patience to let lung cancer do its work.
No. I can't sit here and wait for you to pass.
He sounds like a Marlboro smoker.
Yeah. It looked like there were some traces in there for sure. But she was like, don't kill him, take that off. She washed it in the bathroom. She got it all out. I put it back on. I hosted the show upstairs.
And I know you killed. I know you killed him.
I did fine.
When you have a revenge set, I mean, there's nothing like it. You know?
I did about as good as you could possibly do with dried spit.
You didn't open with that, though.
I didn't.
That'll
but it was close to the top for sure, because you have to
that will weird
use
out.
that experience.
Well, now, you work down at the Improv, and tell me about your crowd work at the lab.
Yeah,
there's a room at the Improv that's about a 40-seater, right?
Mm-hmm, sure.
And it's like their belly room.
Yes.
And you teach a specific course there?
No, not teaching. It's a show. It's a crowd work show.
It's a crowd work show?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've always been a huge fan of crowd work. All my favorite comedians were always really
Jimmy
good
Brogan, Alan Stevens.
Oh,
these guys?
for sure.
Yeah.
And then more recently, like Ian Bagg. And then when I was learning about Chris D'Elia, seeing all his crowd work clips on the internet, Andrew Santino, same one.
Yeah.
Anyone who can go into a room and kind of break people out of this is a show, I'm a little bit tense. You know, anyone who could just snap you out and really heighten that sense of disbelief, and this is all happening like stream of conscious. And I was always a big fan of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then I came up as a musician for years and years since I was 15. So I played so many shows just in the corner of a bar or a deli where people didn't really care if I was there or not. So I had to like make conversation to ensure that they were having a good time.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So it all comes from that stuff. So
I remember we had piano bars in Beverly Hills. Remember in the late 70s, like at all these great bars on Cannon and on Little Santa Monica, and Tony Roma's. They would have piano bars, and they were excellent at talking to everybody and keeping everybody feeling part of.
Yeah. And then when you're in the audience, when people were doing it and I was in the audience, I was always getting the feeling that this was only happening, you know, you could see somebody's act a million times, and that's awesome. It's a craft, and it obviously takes years to make it perfect. But then you could do crowd work, and you get the experience like sitting in the audience that this is only happening this one time, and this is never going to happen again. And that's everything's on the internet now, and you could watch everything 1,000 times, but when you have that feeling, it's really special.
Well, you know, I've seen it done two ways. I've seen the great Jimmy Brogan.
Yeah.
Now he works off the crowd, but he has a lot of set jokes. Okay?
Right, he's just working people into it.
Working people into it.
Yeah.
But Alan Stevens, Al and Steven, it was something else. Whenever you see him at La Jolla at our Comedy Store down there, he can start with the front row over here, front row over there, guy in the middle, and he weaves it all together completely extemporaneously. And I hope that's what you do.
I want to be, eventually, when I'm old,
Yeah.
I want people to look back at my career and be like, oh, he could do that.
Yeah.
We never saw him outside of this place. He never got hired anywhere else, but he could do that. I'd like to be that guy.
Well, you can do a lot worse than being, outside of here.
Yeah, yeah,
This
for
is a pretty
sure.
good place to stay.
Yeah, no. It's always an honor whenever I get to even be in the basement.
What are some of your favorite clubs you like to play?
Oh man, I'm really anywhere that'll have me in town. I love being here, obviously. You know how it works here. It's a very kind of high stakes. People are very protective of their spots. So when I can get in here, I have a great time. I was recently passed at the Laugh Factory, and that was a huge honor. That's where I wanted to be when I was on the East Coast. I would watch all these clips online and be like, if I can only be at the Laugh Factory, and then eventually that
Jamie
happened.
will take good care of you.
Yeah, for sure.
And have you been to are you going to go to the Laugh Factory in Vegas?
I would like to. I haven't been yet, but I would like to.
Talk
I'd
to
like
Jamie
to go
about that, because I know Harry would like it. Because somebody that does good crowd work is gold in Vegas.
Yeah, for sure.
You set up Dice or whoever else.
Yeah,
is going on.
and I have no problem hosting. I know you're one of the great hosts that would come.
Those were the old days. Yeah.
Watch you all the time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Mitzi had me host for about 25 years.
Yeah.
But I took too much time on stage, so she quit that. She ended all MCs because of me.
Well, that's a great honor to know that it's your fault.
Yeah, it is. I'm really good at negative self-pride. You want to hear about my drinking and drugging?
Yeah, please. I don't have anything to do.
Greg Hilbers is here. He'll tell you. When you do your act, tell me what you like to talk about.
Oh man, I've been trying to figure out how I feel about things, and that's the hardest part, trying to inject your point of view into stuff. But I love talking about my family. I love talking about things that happen to me around my neighborhood and all kinds of stuff.
What about dating? You talk about?
Not really. I'm married.
Oh.
And I think my heart is trying to distance myself from the dating world.
Then
I'm like, I don't have to worry
Don't you complain about married life then?
No, not yet. I'm 3 years in, so it's still pretty good. Talk to me in 3 more years. I feel completely different.
It's a rich source of material, right, Lainey? I mean, look at it.
Like, you guys hate each other. Why don't you tell us? Awesome, man. No, but I like it. She's real cool. She's Albanian. You know any Albanians?
Belushis, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're a dangerous people.
Ferocious
so
people,
rich.
yeah.
They're like angrier Italians.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Mussolini couldn't get through Albania, as a matter of fact. That's why the Germans had to come down.
You got to go around. That's a rocky plane.
Tough people, man. Yeah. So, where are you going to be playing soon?
We just had the crowd work show at the Improv. I'm traveling around a lot. I'm going to Chicago at the end of this month, and then beginning of next month, I'm doing a nice little run in Toronto. They got some cool clubs up there called the Corner Comedy Club. And I'll be doing like 6 or 7 shows up there the first weekend of October. Yeah. And then coming back, just really traveling around. I'm trying to do the professional comedian thing where I get on a plane, I fly somewhere else every weekend, and then hone the act during the 5-day work week. And it's working out so far.
Well, when you're on the road, and particularly if you're going on last, headlining on the road, that is a great place to create.
Oh, for sure.
Guys come back with, they'll come back from 2 or 3 month gig with 30 new minutes. And it's good just because they get all that stage time.
Especially when you can do a large chunk of time at the end. Yeah. And sometimes some of these crowd work shows, if it's going really well, like I did a show in Portland, it was an hour and a half, and it didn't feel like an hour and a half, And then I look at the tape and I'm like, oh, well, that could be a joke, and this could be a joke, and then, all of a sudden you walk into it thinking that you have nothing, and you come out and you watch the tape and you're like, oh, I got at least 5 good minutes out of this 90.
Well, I know sometimes we have a great guy that's really good at it here, Dean Del Rey.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And he's monstrously funny.
Yeah, big inspiration for sure.
Material and crowd work, okay? And And Adam likes to start him off on the show, and I'm always on second.
Yeah.
And Dean can just blow the room sky high
Yeah.
with crowd material. And I'm going up there going, I've got to start with A material
Yeah.
for 5 minutes to get them to forget about this guy.
Yeah. Dean took me to La Jolla a few months back.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a big honor to feature for him. Me and Lucas Hurl went to La Jolla, and I loved going down there. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we would wake up, eat breakfast, go to the, they let you use the gym across the street from the hotel.
Yeah.
And then we would just, he made me buy those AirPods.
Yeah, yeah.
And we would go to Starbucks and just listen to our set from the night before and just improve on everything. That's what we did every day down there.
What hotel would you stay at in La Jolla?
Oh, I forgot what it was called because the comedy condo wasn't available. But it was a really nice hotel, which I guess was
I
different.
always stay at La Valencia. And
La Valencia?
La Valencia. Oh,
That's good.
The towels are so thick you can barely close your suitcase. In La
I spent
Jolla.
4 days in a row over there.
Spanish for la-di-da.
Dude, it's beautiful down there.
Well, I hope to work with you down there sometime
Absolutely.
myself. I'm down there every New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Okay, give it
Thank
up
you
for
so
Frank,
much.
ladies and gentlemen. Mike Falzone, ladies and gentlemen, let him hear it. Mike Falzone.